Chosen one, lean in for a moment. There is something stirring around your life that cannot be dismissed, ignored, or explained away as coincidence. You have felt it building inside you, that quiet pressure, that subtle pull, that unshakable knowing that something is on the verge of shifting. And you are right. You are standing before a door you have waited for, prayed for, cried for, and wondered if you would ever reach. And now, in this very moment, heaven is whispering. It is opening. Step in. You may not see the full picture yet. You may not understand why things took so long. You may still be carrying memories of seasons where everything felt locked, blocked, or beyond your reach. But hear this clearly: the delay was not denial. The waiting was not wasted. The silence was not abandonment. Every moment was preparation for the door that is opening right now. There is a shift happening in the unseen. You can feel the atmosphere around your spirit tightening, like the air before a storm breaks. You can sense the weight of something divine pressing against the threshold of your life, ready to break through. This door is not ordinary. It is not random. It is not by chance. It is a door marked with your name written in the ink of destiny, sealed by divine timing. And the moment your spirit has been sensing that holy anticipation, that rising inner fire, is the confirmation that the hinge is moving. The lock is releasing. The barriers are parting. What once resisted you is now yielding under the command of heaven. This door leads to more than an opportunity. It leads to alignment. It leads to restoration. It leads to the season where everything that once didn't make sense suddenly clicks into place. You are not walking into just another chapter, you are walking into the chapter. The one your spirit has been trained for. The one your trials have shaped you for. The one your prayers have been building toward. But listen carefully. When this door opens, it requires courage. It requires clarity. It requires a willingness to step into what you were created for, even if it stretches you, even if it scares you, even if it demands a version of you that you haven't fully seen yet. Because this is the moment where destiny meets decision. And the message flowing to you now, the reason you're hearing this at this exact time, is because heaven has already begun the opening. The shift is already underway. You are closer than you think, nearer than you realize, and more prepared than you feel. The door is opening. And now, chosen one, it's time to step in. Because what is unfolding around you right now is not a coincidence, not an emotional surge, not wishful thinking. This movement, this shift, this stirring in your spirit is coming from a place far higher, far wiser, far more intentional than anything you could have orchestrated on your own. There is a divine hand at work, steady, precise, and deeply invested in your journey. This message reaches you now because heaven has been speaking over your life long before you ever heard the words. The guidance you're sensing is not born from your imagination. It is rooted in the voice of the one who has walked every hidden valley with you every storm, every night you wondered if your prayers were heard. They were, every single one. And the timing you questioned, the timing you wrestled with, is the same timing that is now opening the door before you. There is a reason the atmosphere around your life feels different. A reason your spirit has been more alert, more sensitive, more aware than usual. When God moves, creation responds, and your soul recognizes the signals long before your mind understands them. That inner pull, that restlessness, that sudden hope rising out of nowhere, it is heaven's way of preparing you for what you are about to walk into. This door is divinely ordered. It has been aligned with perfect precision, orchestrated through moments you thought were random and seasons you thought were wasted. Nothing was wasted. Not a tear, not a disappointment, not a delay. Every experience, every detour, every closed door before this one was positioning you, refining you, strengthening you for what is about to unfold. And now, as this divine door opens, you are being invited into a revelation, a deeper understanding of what has truly been happening behind the scenes. God has been constructing something in your favor, not loud or obvious, but quietly, methodically, like a master builder working in the night. You didn't see every step, but you felt the shaping. You didn't hear every instruction, but you sensed the guidance. That is how the divine moves subtly, purposefully, faithfully. The message being released today is not meant to simply encourage you. It is meant to awaken you, to make you aware of the holy orchestration surrounding your life, to let you know that the opening you've waited for is not by chance, not by luck, not because circumstances finally aligned, but because God said, now. In the spiritual realm, something has already shifted. The decree has already been spoken. The door is not preparing to open, it is opening. And the reason this message is reaching your ears at this precise moment is because you are being called to recognize the divine fingerprints on this transition. You are not walking toward this breakthrough alone. You are being guided into it, protected through it, strengthened for it. And as the revelation unfolds, you will begin to understand that this moment was destined, woven into your story long before you ever realized what it meant. This is heaven's timing, heaven's doing, heaven's invitation. And now it's time to unveil what waits on the other side. And as you stand in this moment of holy transition, something begins to rise from the depths of the unseen. A revelation long prepared, yet only now ready to be revealed. What you are stepping into is not merely an answered prayer. It is the unfolding of a prophecy that has been hovering over your life, waiting for the exact alignment of time, character, and destiny. The door before you is symbolic, yes, but it is also profoundly real. It represents a shift that touches every layer of your life, spiritual, emotional, relational, and even material. This is the door that separates who you were from who you are becoming. The door that transitions you from preparation into activation. The door that takes the promise you carried in silence and ushers it into visibility. For years you walked through seasons that felt like endless hallways, dim, uncertain, repetitive. You questioned if you were lost, when in truth you were being guided through a divine corridor designed to bring you right here. Every twist was intentional. Every delay was strategic. Every obstacle was a guardian of timing, ensuring you arrived only when you were truly ready. And now, heaven speaks. The door you have waited for is opening. What does that mean in the spiritual? It means access where there was restriction, movement where there was stagnation, breakthrough where there was resistance. It means the invisible wall that once stood between you and your next season has been lifted by the hand of God Himself. For some, this door will manifest as an opportunity, one that seemed unreachable or too far beyond you. For others, it will appear as clarity, direction, or a divine connection that shifts everything. For some, it will be healing, long-awaited, deeply needed healing, that frees you to step forward without the chains of yesterday. And for others, still, it will be a calling, a purpose, a spiritual assignment that reveals why your path had to be different from those around you. But in every case, the essence is the same. This door is the fulfillment of a long-held promise. You may not have recognized it at first. It may have seemed too subtle, too quiet, too unexpected. But divine doors rarely swing open with noise. They open with weight, the kind you feel in your spirit before you ever see it with your eyes. And that weight is upon you now. The atmosphere around you is shifting because heaven has placed its hand on the threshold of your life. God is not merely giving you a glimpse of what is possible. He is ushering you into what is destined. This is a moment where the spiritual and natural collide, where the unseen breaks into the seen, where the promise stops hovering over your life and begins anchoring itself firmly within it. Imagine standing before a door that glows with a light you can feel more, then see a warmth that pulls you forward, inviting you into a chapter written with divine ink. Behind that door is the version of you that trials were shaping, prayers were watering, and time was maturing. Behind that door is alignment that once felt unreachable, but now feels inevitable. As this prophecy unfolds, understand this: nothing you lost will be wasted. Nothing you endured will be ignored. Nothing you survived will be forgotten. Every part of your story is converging into this moment where purpose meets readiness and destiny meets courage. But there is more, something deeper, something weightier. This is not just a door of blessing. It is a door of becoming. You are not stepping into a season. You are stepping into identity. You are walking into the fulfillment of the silent whispers you carried, the dreams you protected, the strength you cultivated in the shadows. You are entering the realm where everything that once fought against you now becomes evidence of how far you've come. And with this door comes responsibility. The responsibility to trust the path that leads through it, even when it feels unfamiliar. The responsibility to release what cannot come with you. The responsibility to rise into the person you were always meant to be. This prophecy is not simply about what God is giving you. It is about who God is making you. The door is opening not just because the time is right, but because you are right. You have been refined, strengthened, awakened, and positioned. You are not the same person who once questioned if this moment would ever arrive. You are the person who can finally carry what this moment brings. And now that the door has begun to open, the deeper meaning of this transition is about to unfold. Because a moment like this is never just about a door. It is never just about an opportunity, a breakthrough, or a blessing. When heaven moves, there is always a deeper spiritual meaning, woven beneath the surface threads of purpose, timing, and transformation that connect everything you've lived through to everything you are about to become. To understand what this door truly represents, you have to look beyond the physical and into the spiritual. Doors in the natural world separate spaces, but in the spiritual realm, they separate seasons. They mark shifts in identity, authority, and alignment. They signify that what was once behind you no longer defines you, and what is ahead of you is divinely ordained. This door symbolizes transition. It symbolizes elevation. But most importantly, it symbolizes divine timing. God bringing you into a moment that could only exist after your spirit had been prepared, shaped and matured through the seasons you endured. For so long you walked through what felt like an endless winter. Cold moments, dry seasons, silent nights, times when nothing seemed to grow and nothing seemed to move. You wondered if you were stuck or forgotten, when in reality winter was protecting what was being developed within you. The roots of your strength were deepening. The foundation of your character was being fortified. Your discernment was being sharpened. Winter is not punishment. Winter is preparation. And now the spiritual season has shifted. What once felt dormant is awakening. What once felt heavy is lifting. What once felt delayed is aligning. This moment is the spiritual sunrise. After a long night, the proof that God never stopped working, even when everything around you looked still. The door opening before you is the manifestation of that shift. But the meaning goes even deeper. This door represents alignment with your calling. It is not random. It is not vague. It is rooted in specific purpose. Everything you've endured, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the closed doors, the private battles have been shaping you into someone who can carry destiny with strength rather than fear. The storms you survived stripped away what could not go with you. The battles you fought awakened gifts you didn't realize you carried. The disappointments refined your discernment so you could recognize what is from God and what is not. The delays taught you patience, spiritual maturity, and trust that goes beyond logic. Your journey has been a sacred apprenticeship, training your spirit for the moment you now stand in. This is why the door is opening now. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because everything within you has been prepared. Think of it like this. A door is not opened when the environment looks right. It is opened when the person is ready to walk through it. God did not wait for external conditions. He waited for internal transformation. And that is the deeper meaning of this moment. You have shifted internally, spiritually, emotionally. You have grown in silence. You have matured in hidden places. You have strengthened in ways that no one saw but heaven did. And now that internal shift has birthed an external opening. Another layer of meaning lies in the symbolism of stepping in. Doors do not move you by themselves. They open, but you must walk. This season requires participation, not hesitation. It calls for faith in motion, trust in action, surrender in real time. The open door is God's part. Stepping through it is yours. Stepping in means leaving behind the version of you that no longer fits the future you are stepping into. It means releasing the fear that held you back. It means letting go of the voices that tried to shrink your identity. It means embracing the boldness, the authority, the clarity that this next season demands. Stepping in is not just movement, it is transformation. And transformation is the core of this prophecy. This door marks the end of wandering, the end of questioning, the end of waiting for permission. And it marks the beginning of alignment, purpose, destiny, and divine fulfillment. The final layer of meaning is this: God is restoring what was lost and redeeming what was broken. Behind this door is not just opportunity, it is recompense. It is healing. It is clarity. It is the full circle moment your soul has been aching for. The tears you sowed in private are becoming the harvest you will witness in public. Every storm had meaning. Every silence had purpose. Every setback had instruction. Every delay had protection. And now all of it converges into this one sacred transition where preparation meets promise and promise unfolds into fulfillment. What awaits on the other side of this door is the life your spirit has been whispering about for years. And heaven is now preparing to confirm what your heart has already begun to sense, and those confirmations have already begun. Even if you didn't fully recognize them, subtle signs have been appearing around you, indicators that heaven has shifted something in your favor. These signs are not random. They are not coincidences. They are spiritual markers, gentle signals woven into your everyday moments to let you know, yes, the door is opening. Yes, it is your time. Some of these signs have been quiet, almost whisper-like. Others have felt stronger, stirring your spirit without explanation. But each one is meant to prepare your heart, steady your faith, and awaken your awareness to what God is unfolding. Let's bring them to light now, because once you see them clearly, you'll realize they've been surrounding you all along. 1. A sudden inner restlessness followed by clarity. You may have felt a strange tension inside, not anxiety, but a spiritual anticipation, like something within you was shifting position. This restlessness was heaven adjusting your spirit to match the new chapter forming around you. And right after the unease, moments of sudden clarity began to break through. Ideas, decisions, insights, things that once felt confusing, suddenly became simple. That clarity is a sign your spirit is aligning with the door that's opening. 2. Old cycles closing quickly and unexpectedly. You may have noticed certain relationships fading, certain habits losing their pull, or certain situations ending without your effort. Doors you weren't meant to walk through have been closing swiftly. This is not loss, it is divine clearing. When a destined door is opening, God removes anything that would compete with your attention or hinder your step forward. These endings are confirmations you are being spiritually repositioned. 3. Renewed strength that doesn't match your situation. There have been days where you should have felt exhausted, discouraged, or overwhelmed. And yet something within you rose, a strength you didn't expect, a calm you couldn't explain, a hope that didn't match the circumstances. That inner resilience is not emotional, it is spiritual. It is heaven infusing you with endurance for what lies ahead. This supernatural strength is a sign the door is close. 4. Unexpected opportunities, conversations, or alignments. Perhaps someone reached out. A new idea sparked. A door you weren't even knocking on cracked open, not fully just enough to catch your attention. These alignments are nudges from God drawing your eyes toward what He has prepared. Even the small opportunities are intentional. They are glimpses of what is behind the larger door. These moments whisper, "Pay attention. I am moving." 5. Heightened spiritual sensitivity. Your spirit has likely grown more aware, more discerning, more reflective, more sensitive to shifts in atmosphere. You feel things before you see them. You sense changes before they happen. This increased awareness is not random. It is preparation for stepping through a door that requires spiritual vision more than natural sight. This sensitivity is confirmation you are walking in divine timing. 6. A deep, unexplainable peace about change. Even though change can be uncomfortable, something inside you has begun to settle. A quiet peace, a steady knowing, a gentle confidence that you are moving toward the right thing. Peace is heaven's signature, the mark of God's hand guiding your steps. This peace is the final sign the way is being made clear. Chapter. These signs are not just indicators, they are invitations. Invitations to trust, to pay attention, to lean in. They remind you that the shift isn't coming, it has already begun. And with every confirmation you are being prepared for what many do not see, the hidden challenges that come before the fullness of the promise. Because right before a divine door fully opens, there are always challenges that rise up not to stop you, but to strengthen you. These challenges are often subtle, unexpected, or emotionally draining, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're stepping into something right. Whenever heaven begins to elevate someone, resistance increases around them, not to defeat them, but to test what has been built within them. These challenges are not punishments. They are spiritual pressure points designed to reveal your readiness, refine your discernment, and anchor your faith more deeply than before. And if you've been experiencing any of them recently, it is not a sign of delay. It is a sign of transition. Let's bring these hidden challenges into the light so you can recognize them for what they truly are. 1. A final wave of opposition or disruption. Right before breakthrough, the enemy often attempts a last push through distractions, conflict, frustration, or unexpected obstacles. Not to destroy you, but to shake your confidence. You've likely felt moments recently where things seemed to go wrong all at once, or where peace was interrupted for no clear reason. This is resistance appearing because the door is near. The closer the opening, the louder the opposition. But remember, opposition is often the announcement that breakthrough is moments away. 2. Old doubts returning suddenly. Just when you felt steady, a thought may have crept in. What if I'm wrong? What if nothing changes? What if this isn't for me? These thoughts don't come from truth. They come from the remnants of old seasons. Doubt tries to echo louder when destiny is approaching. Not because you're unworthy, but because your spirit is stepping into unfamiliar territory. This mental resistance is a sign that you are outgrowing the mindset of your past. 3. Emotional sensitivity or unexpected weariness. You may have noticed emotions rising unexpectedly, feeling drained one moment and hopeful the next. This happens because your spirit is shifting faster than your emotions can process. Elevation creates internal tension before it produces external change. The weariness you feel is not defeat. It is the stretching of your capacity for what's coming. This fatigue is temporary, and it is proof of spiritual upgrading. 4. Feeling isolated or misunderstood right before a major shift, God often pulls you away from certain people or environments. Not because they are bad, but because they cannot go where you're going. Their influence, opinions, or pace might interfere with your alignment. This isolation is not loneliness, it is consecration. You are being set apart for clarity. This isolation is protection disguised as separation. 5. Unexpected delays, slowdowns, or pauses. Sometimes things around you seem to slow down right before everything speeds up. Messages take longer to be returned. Plans stall. Projects pause. These delays are not denial. They are alignment adjustments. God is synchronizing your path with the exact timing of the door. He is ensuring you do not walk in a minute too early or a moment too late. These pauses are divine precision at work. 6. A sense of standing between two worlds. You've likely felt like you're no longer where you used to be, but not yet where you are going. This in-between feeling, this spiritual hallway, is one of the clearest signs that your old season has ended and your new one is about to fully unlock. It's uncomfortable, but it is sacred. This tension means one thing: you are at the threshold. These challenges do not mean you are unprepared. They mean you are being strengthened. They are not blockages, they are confirmations. They are not signs to turn back, they are preparation to step forward. And now, in the midst of these challenges, comes heaven's instruction, the guidance you need to walk through this door with confidence and clarity. Because every divine door requires not just awareness, but alignment. A door can open, a promise can arrive, a breakthrough can be released. But stepping through it requires instruction, intention, and spiritual readiness. What is unfolding in your life right now isn't passive. It's participatory. Heaven is moving, yes, but heaven is also calling you to move with it. This is the part of the journey where the atmosphere becomes sacred, where your choices matter, where the posture of your spirit determines the pace of your transition. You are not being asked to strive, stress, or force anything. You are being guided to align, to listen, and to step forward with courage. These next instructions are not burdens. They are keys. Keys designed to unlock clarity, remove hesitation, and position your heart for what you are about to walk into. Let them settle into your spirit now. 1. Release what cannot cross the threshold. There are things you carried in the last season that cannot enter the next one. Old fears, old disappointments, old identities, old expectations, old attachments. This door requires a lighter spirit, one not weighed down by emotional residue or spiritual clutter. Ask yourself gently, does this belief, this person, this fear, this habit support my destiny, or does it drain it? If it drains you, it is not meant to go with you. What you release now becomes room for what God is giving next. 2. Quiet the noise so you can hear the next step. Breakthrough requires clarity, and clarity requires quiet. You don't need silence from the world, you need silence within your spirit. The door that's opening is not loud. God's whisper is not forceful. To hear instruction, you must create space. This may look like stepping back from unnecessary conversations, limiting distractions, protecting your emotional environment, saying no to things that scatter your focus. You cannot discern divine direction in an atmosphere filled with noise. Stillness is not inactivity, it is alignment. 3. Follow the peace, not the pressure. Pressure will shout at you. Peace will guide you. The door opening before you will not demand panic, fear, or rushing. It will draw you forward with steady confidence. If you feel pushed, confused, or agitated, pause. That is not the voice of God. His leading is marked by peace, even when the step is bold. Let peace be your compass. If peace is present, direction is confirmed. 4. Prepare your spirit before you prepare your plans. Many people prepare externally first by planning, organizing, or strategizing. But in divine timing, the internal preparation matters more. Your spirit must be ready before your steps are. That means strengthening your faith, grounding yourself in prayer, declaring truth over your life, choosing trust even when details are unseen. A prepared spirit turns uncertainty into confidence. 5. Walk by revelation, not routine. What's ahead of you is new. It will not look like past seasons. It will not fit old patterns. You cannot rely on yesterday's instructions to walk into today's opening. Listen closely. God is giving fresh guidance, fresh understanding, fresh insight. Your next step will come through revelation, a conviction, a nudge, a knowing, a shift in perspective, a moment of clarity that feels almost supernatural. When revelation rises, respond to it, even if the step feels unfamiliar. 6. Step forward before you feel fully ready. Every destiny moment requires courage. You may not feel confident yet. You may feel unqualified, uncertain, unprepared. But heaven is not waiting for your perfection, heaven is waiting for your yes. A divine door doesn't require you to feel ready. It requires you to be willing. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement despite fear. And when you take the first step, heaven takes 10 for you. 7. Honor the door by honoring yourself. This is one of the most overlooked instructions. You cannot walk into a season meant for your highest self while treating yourself as if you are still the lowest version of who you once were. Honor who you have become. Honor the growth you fought for. Honor the wisdom you earned. Honor the worthiness God sees in you. When you honor yourself, you align with heaven's view of you, and the door responds to identity. These instructions are not demands, they are invitations. Each one aligns you more deeply with the timing of God and prepares you for what is waiting beyond the threshold. And now, as you follow this guidance, heaven wants you to know something even greater. You will not walk through this door unprotected. There is a shield surrounding your steps. Because as you move toward this opening, heaven is not just guiding you, heaven is guarding you. No divine door is released without divine protection surrounding it. You are not stepping into this season unshielded, unprotected, or vulnerable. There is a covering over you, a spiritual barrier that moves with you, stands before you, and watches behind you. Too many times you walk through life wondering if you were alone, if you were exposed, if the battles you fought were signs that you lacked support. But the truth is, God has been covering you long before you ever realized you needed covering. And in this moment of transition, His protection is stronger, closer, and more intentional than ever. Let this settle deeply into your spirit. 1. You are surrounded, even when you feel separated. Those seasons of isolation you endured were never abandonment. They were insulation. Times when God pulled you back were times when He was shielding you from unseen harm, unseen influence, unseen distraction. You may have felt alone, but heaven was closer than your breath. As you approach this new door, that same divine presence surrounds you like a wall of fire, not to keep you in, but to keep harm out. You are protected in your becoming. That's true. What was meant to harm you cannot follow you. There were attacks formed against you, spiritual, emotional, relational, but none of them accomplished their intention. Not because you were strong enough to stop them, but because God was compassionate enough to intercept them. There were things that could have broken you, but didn't. Doors that could have trapped you, but didn't. People who could have wounded you, but didn't succeed. And now as you step toward this threshold, what tried to cling to you in the past cannot cross over into your new season. The door opening before you has a divine filter. Only purpose can pass through. 3. Peace will guard your mind as you move forward. This next part is important. God is not only protecting your path, but He is protecting your mind. The anxiety that used to rise in you, the fear that used to overwhelm you, the overthinking that used to exhaust you, these things are losing their power. A supernatural calm is beginning to settle over your thoughts. Not because circumstances are easier, but because your spirit is stronger. Peace is your shield. Clarity is your armor. Faith is your covering. 4. You will not miss what God has prepared. One of your quiet fears has been, what if I miss it? What if I choose wrong? What if I step too early or too late? But hear this clearly, you cannot miss what is meant for you. When heaven opens a door, it is unmistakable. When God leads, the step becomes undeniable. He does not play hide and seek with your destiny. He illuminates it. The same God who opens the door will guide your feet through it. 5. No weapon formed will prosper, not even the subtle ones. It's not always obvious attacks you need protection from. Often it's the subtle ones. Discouragement, doubt, delay, distraction. But in this season, even the subtle weapons lose their power. Heaven's hand is upon you. You are shielded from what would have once derailed you. This protection is not temporary. It is covenantal. It is a promise sealed over your life. So take a breath. Feel the peace settling over you. Feel the reassurance strengthening you. You are not stepping forward alone. You are stepping forward covered. And with this protection in place, the next part of the journey begins, the transformation waiting for you on the other side of the door. Because once you cross this threshold, nothing remains the same. A divine door doesn't simply change your circumstances, it changes you. It awakens what was dormant, activates what was delayed, and brings into visibility what heaven has been cultivating inside you all along. This is not a small shift. It is a transformation. A becoming. A stepping into identity, authority, and purpose on a level you have never walked in before. Let your spirit absorb this fully. You are not just entering a new season, you are entering a new version of yourself. The version that storms refined, the version that waiting matured, the version that silence strengthened, the version that faith awakened, the version that pain prepared. This door is not just an opening, it is a revelation of who you truly are. 1. You will recognize yourself again and yet more fully than ever. For so long you carried pieces of yourself that felt hidden, your strength, your clarity, your confidence, your voice. The trials of your past dimmed parts of you that were meant to shine. But on the other side of this door, those pieces come back together. Your identity becomes clearer. Your vision becomes sharper. You step into a version of yourself that feels both familiar and brand new. It's not that you become someone else. It's that you finally become who you were always meant to be. 2. Purpose will move from concept to reality. There were times when your calling felt distant, vague, or unreachable. You sensed greatness inside you, but circumstances didn't match the promise. You felt the pull of destiny, but didn't know where to begin. Behind this door, purpose becomes tangible. What was once internal becomes external. What was once felt becomes lived. Opportunities align, resources appear, connections form, doors open in sequence not by accident, but by orchestration. Purpose becomes your daily walk, not just your private dream. 3. What you lost will be replaced with greater. Every disappointment, every rejection, every closed door taught you something, but it also cost you something. Behind this door, God restores with increase. You do not just receive back what was taken. You receive back multiplied, strengthened, elevated. This is a season of recompense where what the enemy meant for harm becomes fuel for your rising. Restoration is not returning to what was. It is stepping into something better than before. 4. Relationships, environments, and alignments will shift. When you enter a higher chapter, your connections shift naturally. Some will fall away gently. Others will be drawn to you by divine appointment. You will find yourself surrounded by people who understand your purpose, support your growth, and align with your future. This is not coincidence. It is alignment. You are being positioned among those who walk where you are headed, not where you've been. 5. Your confidence will grow without arrogance. This next version of you walks with quiet boldness, not loud, not boastful, but steady and assured. You will notice a newfound certainty rising in you, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally trust the God who leads you. Confidence becomes your natural posture because peace becomes your foundation. You won't have to convince anyone of your growth, they will see it. 6. You'll feel the shift in your spirit before you see it in your life. Perhaps the greatest sign of transformation is the internal peace, clarity, and alignment that comes before anything visibly changes. Your spirit will recognize the shift first. It will feel like breathing differently, like seeing differently, like moving through the world with a subtle but powerful sense of knowing. This is the evidence of fulfillment unfolding inside you before it manifests around you. What awaits behind this door is not temporary elevation. It is lasting transformation. A spiritual, emotional, and personal rewiring that brings you into full alignment with who God has been shaping you to be. And as this transformation settles in, heaven seals this moment with words meant to anchor your spirit, strengthen your faith, and prepare your heart for what comes next. And now that the message has been spoken, the revelation unveiled, and the path before you illuminated, it is time to seal this moment, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with faith. Faith that what you heard was for you. Faith that what is opening is real. Faith that what is unfolding is purposeful, intentional, and divinely aligned. You have walked through the preparation. You have endured the shaping. You have survived the storms. And now you stand at the threshold of fulfillment. To anchor this moment in your spirit, let these affirmations become your declaration, short, powerful, and spoken with authority. Speak them aloud, whisper them, repeat them in your mind. Let them settle deep within you and echo through your spirit. Affirmation 1. I am ready for what God has prepared for me. Let this truth rise inside you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not unworthy. You are ready because heaven has said you are ready. Affirmation 2. What is meant for me will not pass me by. This breaks the fear of missing out, the fear of choosing wrong, the fear of not knowing enough. If God opened the door, then the door is yours. And affirmation 3. I step forward with courage, clarity, and peace. As you walk through this transition, your steps are guided. Your spirit is steady. Your path is protected. You move not by fear, but by confidence. Affirmation 4. I walk through the open door in faith. This is your declaration of movement, not stagnation, not hesitation, but progress, bold, God-guided progress.
Atabam.
And now, let this blessing rest upon you like light, like breath, like the gentle weight of divine assurance. May every step you take be aligned with heaven's timing. May every door not meant for you close peacefully, and every door meant for you open clearly. May your spirit remain steady, your heart remain grounded, and your mind remain guarded in perfect peace. May strength rise in you when you feel weak, and clarity rise in you when you feel uncertain. May protection surround you, favor go before you, and purpose awaken within you in ways that surprise you with their beauty. May this be the chapter where what you prayed for becomes what you walk in, and what you hoped for becomes what you hold. You are not stepping forward alone. You are stepping forward guided, covered, strengthened, chosen. The door you waited for is opening, and now with heaven's blessing upon you, step in.